for reading this week, you should only be doing your iReady reading diagnostic tests on Monday, Tuesday, along with your vocabulary. And then Friday, you can also working on your diagnostic test. Make sure you watch the instructions on the diagnostic test for how to log in, how to take the test, and some other tips, because it's very important that you do your very best. So when you get to Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be working on schema and text evidence to make inferences in fiction. So we're going to work on using connections, relating schema, and you're really going to be watching this video and then doing the passages and working on comprehension questions. So your first passage is How the Chipmunk Got Its Stripes, and it's a legend of the Iroquois. Now, when we use our schema, we always think about the title, underline it before we read, and we think about, is this fiction? Is it a fake story or a made-up story with characters? Sometimes it may seem realistic, other times it doesn't. Or is it nonfiction? Is it not fake? Is it giving me science information or history information? So I just skim and scan and look at the beginning. If there's a plot, which means setting, characters, at the beginning, it's going to be fiction. So long it says there's creatures. Okay, I don't know yet. Oh, there's characters. These are the characters, are the different animals. And it tells us the setting. Okay, so this is fiction. And this is how we activate our schema. We're thinking, okay, this is a story. I know stories follow a plot. There's going to be some setting characters, rising action, climactic events, falling action, and a resolution. I should be paying attention to the conflict in the story and how that's solved. And then I also am thinking about how the chipmunk got its stripes. A legend. A legend. I've watched some movies that had to do with being legends and stories. So I'm thinking about movies and how the chipmunk got its stripes. So this sounds like it's fake, but it's going to tell about something. Ooh, almost like a folk tale. Every time you read a passage, you want to jot down some information, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, and what pops in your mind when you read that title. What do we already know about this topic before we read? And that is how you activate your schema. Now, while we read, we're also going to be thinking of those I wonders and I thinks inside our brain, and we may jot them down while we read, and that should help us when we answer the questions. So we're going to do this one together so you know how to do it, and the other one. Make sure you have your pen ready or pencil ready, and you have your packet out. Long ago, the earth was covered in darkness. In my mind, I see a dark earth. None of the creatures living there knew what daylight looked like. One day, all of the animals of the forest gathered together in a clearing. They wondered if it would be better to remain in darkness or if it would be better to also have light. Deer, chipmunk, raccoon, wolf, bear, and many other creatures climbed to the top of the highest mountain. The mountain stood so tall that there were no trees on its top. I'm thinking about why. Why did they go up there? And it was covered only with rocks. Millions of stars blinked in the dark sky overhead. The biggest and most powerful animal in the forest was the bear. That sounds important. And he was the first to reach the mountaintop. Bear stood on the highest peak, looked out over the forest below, and argued for the remaining in the darkness. He said that the creatures of the forest would be able to sleep better in the darkness. I agree. That's what I think. I like to sleep in dark too. Because there would be no light to keep them awake. Most of the other animals were afraid. Ah, I know some people who are afraid. My husband doesn't like the dark. He always wants to keep a light on in the kitchen. And they agreed with Bear. Raccoon said that he did not mind the darkness because he was so smart. Ooh, ooh. So it's Raccoon now. So they've gone through Bear, Raccoon, but this title is about Chipmunk. Raccoon said he did not mind the darkness because he was so smart